Hello again, friends, and welcome to today's show here on Doc G's Wine and Spirits Review. As you can see, the beautiful weather continues here. This feels like a day in Tuscany. It's beautiful, it's low humidity, nice breeze, been in and out of the pool. So I'm taking a break from the pool to come to you to give you a little bit of an overview of some of the other highlights from the Italy trip that we already 6 weeks ago returned from. I had promised you last week when we finished our Spritz episode that I would be wanting to come back to you and share with you show by show in the next couple shows the different wineries that we visited along the path, because there are some fantastic wines. And I want to pay homage to each of the wineries by doing a separate segment on each one of them. So that's what I'm here to do today, and we're going to start with one. But before we do that, you can see here it is a little warm. I've gotten the Spritz habit. Cheers, and welcome to our show today. So the trip that we had, I'll just give you a grand overview, spanned 7 days, although we did extend it by staying some extra time in Florence. But over that week, we visited 4 different wineries along the way, and I want to share wines from each of those 4 wineries so that you can, if you're interested, trying to get some of them you probably can't get, some of them you can, and this one I wanted to start with today because I believe this was our first stop along the trip. It might have been our second, but I'll get to that in a minute. But I want to focus today on the very first one, and the reason I want to focus on this one is it's one that if you're interested, you can get. You'd have to go online to get it, and I can tell you where to get it. And it is actually a very modestly priced wine. So the name of the winery is Corzano and Corzano, excuse me. I always make that mistake. I was making it the whole trip. Let me start over. Corzano e Paterno. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the wine producer. I have some notes here from the place that provided me with these wines, but I really don't need them, but they're very succinct. I was there. I met the owner. I met the winemaker. We toured the property. I'll even post some pictures when we were on their property sampling their fantastic wines. So the wine producer, there's a little story here. So a Swiss architect named Wendell Gelbke bought Corzano in the early 70s, and he promised the Marchese Ippolito Niccolini that his rundown 70-hectare estate would remain intact forever, and that is still holding. He made the same covenant with the Marchesa Rangioni Machiavelli when he bought her Fattoria di Paterno. So there are the two names, Corzano e Paterno. Together they form a 140-hectare estate that produces some of the finest olive oil, sheep's milk cheeses, and wine, literally in all of Tuscany. And we were there. It is a beautiful, expansive property. It's just what you would expect Tuscany to be. It's really not something you would call a winery. If you even see on the bottle, it's called the fattoria. And a fattoria is loosely translated as an agricultural estate. They do wine, they can do anything. And wine is one of the things that they do here. So we met the winemaker. We didn't actually meet the owner himself, but we had a fantastic visit there, and I can't say enough about it. When we were there, I turned to our tour guide, Jenny, and I said, I recognize this bottle. I think I can get this back in the United States. And I walked over to the young lady who was giving us our tour of the facility, or of the fattoria, and I said, oh, I can get this at Moore Brothers. She goes, oh, Greg Moore. He's one of our biggest importers. We export more wine to him than probably anybody in the United States. I said, I didn't know that. I said, but I am so glad, because the minute I get home, I've been looking at these bottles online when I shop, and I've never actually reached out and bought one. Well, we got to sample the wines at the estate that day, and that convinced me. I think that day I put my order in so that it would arrive by the time I get home, or got home. So they have a library of about 6 or 7 wines. I have 3 of them here, which were very easy to get, and these are the 3 that are carried by Moore Brothers. and I want to talk about each one of them. So we're going to start out with the first one called Toscana Corzanello Bianco 2025. This is a blend of Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, Trebbiano, Verdicchio, and Semillon, and it does have a little bit of Petit Manseng in it. And it's absolutely, when I drank it, I thought, oh my, I've never tasted a wine like this. It is such a great Tuscan white blend. It's got a little bit of white flower and green apple on it, fresh tarragon. It is got a mineral base, solid core of white peaches, Asian pears. It's actually a little bit zesty. And this one, they say can age until 2030. So I might not drink that one right away, but if I do, I know I can get more. So it's basically a Toscano Bianco blend. So I just gave you the names of the grapes, and this one actually lists at Moore Brothers for $23 a bottle. That might be the best $23 bottle of wine. Let me hold it up for you, that you may ever drink. And it is actually a very fantastic wine. I highly recommend it. So, little hydration break. That's Campari, Prosecco, and soda water. That's very good. And there's an orange in the middle of it. So there you have it. That's our first Corzano, a Paterno wine. The next one is the Rosato, and the reds and the rosé that they grow are all Sangiovese. And I'm going to give you a little bit of background on Sangiovese. I promised to actually do a spot just on the Sangiovese grape. Thanks to our guide on the trip, Jenny Moretti. She gave us a world-class lesson in the different versions of the Sangiovese grape. Things I did not even know. You think you know everything until you meet somebody that knows more than you do. So I found out that there was a lot to learn about the Sangiovese grape. So this rosé, I'm still surprised I have this bottle. I can't open too many bottles when I have this, where I'd have to have a party, and I don't have enough people available. So this is called Il Corzanello Toscana. It is a rosé, and it is comprised of 100% Sangiovese grapes, and it's grown from a vineyard that's dedicated to the production of rosé. The harvest was picked slightly underripe in the first week of September, and then it was picked at the end of the month when the grapes were fully ripe, and then they pressed it, whole cluster press. The wine fermented in thermoregulated stainless steel, so there's no oak on this, where it matured for 4 months on its lees, and then it was bottled in March. So in the glass, and it's a pure Rosato style. It's you can see the color. It's kind of like pink, salmon colored. It's got aromas of peonies, white cranberries, Italian parsley, wild strawberries. It's not a mild rosé, but it's not one that's going to kill you either. It is absolutely fantastic. Some of the suggestions food suggestions that are recommended are anything olive oil laced seafood, whole roasted fish, any pastas with herbs and tomatoes, and it works very well with this wine. Roasted chicken is also delicious with this, and a whole host of other things that we're not even going to. This is just your quintessential. You could just patio sip this bad boy. It is absolutely fantastic. It too is available to you if you want to order at Moore Brothers online. I'll just give you their website. $23 a bottle. You have to pay a little bit of shipping, but I can tell you it's well worth it. So the last wine that I want to share with you is the Chianti that we tried. And Tuscany is ground zero for good Chianti. So let me pour this one. We'll save this hydration for later. Don't want to ruin my palate. I'm actually going to have this. So while we're in this pause here, let me pour this for you. Gotta love that sound. This is the wine we're featuring now. So before we talk about this wine specifically, let me give you a brief primer based on the notes here of the Chianti of the Sangiovese grape. It's widely planted in Italy, and depending on the region and selection, there are various clones. which notably include the Brunello and Prugnolo Gentile. There are others. There's the Montalcino, and Sangiovese has a real long scientific basis, and there are different clones and different varieties that are important to be aware of. So this Sangiovese it's an early budding and slow ripening grape. They're generally full-bodied, and you'll always get cherry, spice, earthiness, as well as lively acidity. If you like Pinot Noir, you're going to like Sangiovese. It's called Chianti. It is that's the Chianti region. Sangiovese is raised in the United States. Our good friends at Giornata Winery in Paso Robles bottle a fantastic Sangiovese. So there you have it. So the name of this grape is Terre di Corzano Chianti 2024. So it is a bit young, and this one goes for $26 a bottle. So let's see in the glass if it's as advertised. Beautiful color. You can see it in the sunlight there. Nice little breeze going here. Getting cherry. A little bit of leather. This one is a little bit of raspberry. It's even got maybe a little coffee overtone. It's it's fantastic. So let me take a sip. Almost a little bit of cotton candy. Oh my God, that is so good. So it's Father's Day. So to all of you fathers out there watching, happy Father's Day. And if you're not a father, I hope you got some time today to say hello to your father, remember your father if he's no longer here, and maybe spend some time with him if he is. So, and to you guys out there who are fathers, happy Father's Day, my boys. Or I should say my men. And I want to close with letting you know where this is going next. This glass is destined, my desire today for Father's Day, this is a little personal story. I made a dinner reservation to go out today, and I thought we'll make things easy, and I saw the weather forecast, and got this pool behind me to hop in all day, and I said to my wife, I said, you know what, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything. I just want to stay home, drink my good wine, and have a great meal. So what I'm planning to pair this with are lamb chops, lamb loin chops, that are being marinated as we speak in olive oil, lemon juice, garlic, thyme, and rosemary. I'm going to put them on the grill, which is over here to my left that you can't see, and I'm going to have them with a nice big garden salad. My lettuce is going crazy here. I don't have tomatoes yet, but I'll use the store-bought tomatoes. Nice garden salad. And I looked up a nice pairing to go with this. It's a couscous recipe that includes peas and mint mixed up in it as a perfect accompaniment to the marinade that I'm going to put on my lamb, roasted, or I should say grilled lamb loins. And I promise I'll plate it for you, take a nice picture, and post it for you and let you know that it was yummy, because I know it's going to be without even tasting it at this point. So with that said, there you have it, my friends. Corzano e Paterno. They are in Tuscany, not very far from Florence. If you happen to have a chance to go to Tuscany and you're spending time in that region, maybe you want to look up Corzano e Paterno. I will post their website as well on the site, on my site, so that you can see it. And happy Father's Day, my friends. We'll see you next time. Ciao.